Grandma, can I have $10 for my allowance today? My front door swings open, and my 6-year-old granddaughter burst in with a smile on her face. Oh, Emma, you're here again. My voice is usually somber for talking to a grandchild, but it's understandable. Emma has been coming over for money 5 days in a row now. I had just returned from living abroad for 10 years, and Emma, who had only seen pictures of me as a baby, came to visit. I was initially thrilled to meet her, but her daily visits asking for money started to bother me. I called my son's house multiple times. Finally, I got a hold of my daughter-in-law and can't help but raise my voice. What kind of values are you teaching your child? She comes over every day asking for money. What are you talking about? I'm even more puzzled by my daughter-in-law's confused response. And then I'm shocked by the truth she reveals. I moved abroad when I was 50 due to my husband's job. At the time, we left our college-age son in New York and moved to another country. Eventually, he got a job, got married, and had a child 6 years ago. When we saw the baby pictures, we were so thrilled that we sent a ton of diapers, much to our son's dismay. After 10 years abroad, we decided to move back to New York upon my husband's retirement. I contacted my son to let him know I'd be coming back alone first. I'll be back the day after tomorrow. Can you pick me up?
Sorry, I have an overseas business trip starting tomorrow.
Oh, we'll just miss each other. That's too bad. I was excited about my life back in New York, even though I wouldn't see my son right away. Our house, located in a prime area, was too big to maintain, so my son and his wife didn't want to live there. We had it regularly cleaned by a service. 2 days after returning, a little girl suddenly visits. Hello, Grandma. Huh? Nice to meet you. I'm Emma. Could you be my granddaughter, Emma? The girl who somewhat resembles my son answers yes, and shows me a picture of her and my son. What I saw in the photo was my son smiling and leaning on each other's shoulders, and Emma in front of me. Oh, Mark has aged. I can't help but smile at the sight of my slightly chubby son. Do you always carry this photo? No, Mom told me to show it to you when I met you. I suddenly realize Emma seems to be alone. How did you get here? Mark, your dad is on a business trip, right? Yeah, but my mom dropped me off nearby. She said she had to go shopping and told me to stay here. Emma is only 6 years old. I can't imagine letting a child this age walk alone in New York. But looking at my innocent granddaughter's face, I can't help but smile. Do you want a snack, Emma? Yeah, yay! I give her some snacks and juice, and she happily munches away. We spend the afternoon playing puzzles, and before I know it, it's evening. I'm preparing some cookies to send her home with when I hear, "Bye, Grandma," and she's gone in a flash. I try to follow her, but she's already out of sight, and I don't have my daughter-in-law's phone number. I call their home that night, but no one answers. I'm worried, but the next day Emma shows up again. Geez, Grandma, you had me worried. Why did you leave so suddenly? Mom came to pick me up nearby, so it's all good. Looking at my cheerful granddaughter, I wonder if I'm just being overprotective. Emma spent the day at my house again and left on her own saying, "Mom is waiting for me nearby." I call home, but my daughter-in-law doesn't answer, yet Emma keeps showing up every day. After this happens for 2 days, I start to find it suspicious. Then Emma says something unexpected. Grandma, I want an allowance. An allowance? Yeah, give me $5. I'm surprised by the sudden request, but I think maybe it's a child's privilege to ask for money so straightforwardly. So I hand her $5 with a smile. However, from that day on, Emma starts asking for money every time she opens her mouth. And the amount she asks for keeps increasing. $10, $20, day by day. Do you want to buy something? If so, I can buy it for you. No, I just want the money. I want to give it to her, but I can't just hand it over without reason. Why do you want the money?
I just want it.
But you shouldn't just take money from people.
Why not? You're rich, right? Mom told me you have lots of money, so I can get as much allowance as I want.
What? Mom said that. Emma repeats,
Give it to me.
with sparkling eyes. One day, when I firmly said no, I found some bills missing from my wallet. I wanted to call Mark, but unfortunately he's still on an overseas business trip. After calling my son's house several times, my daughter-in-law finally answers.
Oh, mother-in-law, long time no see. Sorry, I heard you were back, but things have been hectic.
I don't care about that. What are you teaching your child? Emma comes over every day asking for money.
Emma, what are you talking about?
When I confront her saying, Don't pretend you don't know, she replies with unexpected words.
Emma can't go to your house.
What are you talking about? She's here right now.
My daughter is in the hospital.
What? According to my daughter-in-law, Emma has been frail since birth and has been in and out of hospitals. The reason I only received baby pictures while I was abroad was that they didn't want to worry me with her frail appearance. The reason I couldn't reach my daughter-in-law was that she was at the hospital where Emma was admitted. After she hung up saying,
I have to go to the hospital now,
I was stunned for a while. Who is this Emma who came to my house today? Calling me Grandma and carrying a photo of her and Mark? Emma, will you answer Grandma's question?
Yeah, sure. What?
What's your dad's name?
Mark?
And your mom's name?
Betty.
I frown at this point. The name of the dad is correct, but my daughter-in-law's name is Jennifer. I asked a few more questions, and there are slight discrepancies in all her answers. Is Mom coming to pick you up today, Emma?
Yeah.
I see. By this time, I had already made up my mind. In the evening, as Emma leaves my house alone as usual, I quietly follow her. After walking for a while, Emma enters a nearby park and runs toward a young woman waiting there. The woman at the park is a complete stranger, not my daughter-in-law, and I don't recognize her face. I hurriedly approach the two as they try to leave the park. Excuse me, are you this child's mom? Yes, so?
Who are you? This child has been asking me for money.
I whisper so the child can't hear, but the woman responds loudly. So what? You're Emma's grandma, right? It's only natural for a grandma to give her grandchild money. Who told you that? Mark?
Who else would it be?
I question the smirking woman and find out she's my son's mistress, and Emma is his secret child. He even gave this secret child the same name as his daughter. What is Mark thinking? My real granddaughter is in the hospital, and my daughter-in-law is by her side. And Mark took advantage of this to have an affair and even father a child. I feel dizzy from the shock. We need to have a serious talk. What, you're going to lecture me? It's not his fault. He won't leave his wife. So you're extorting money from me because... Exactly. I need to get something out of this, but if he says he'll divorce, I'll stop. I'm still furious at Betty's arrogance, but I propose that we'll have a proper discussion when Mark returns from his overseas trip. She reluctantly agrees. 3 days later, I confirm Mark has returned and invite him to dinner at our house. Waiting for Mark, who enters the living room loosening his tie. Me, my daughter-in-law Jennifer, and his mistress Betty.
What's going on?
That's what Jennifer and I want to know. Mark is surprised, but I have no intention of letting up. Mark, you need to divorce Jennifer right now.
Why should I?
Who else has been having a long-term affair and even fathered a secret child?
That's not it. There's a reason. And besides, Jennifer would never divorce me. How would she live without my income?
Just as Mark starts to regain his composure, Jennifer crushes it.
No, I will divorce you.
I don't need to worry about my future. I'll endure any hardship for my daughter. It's better than being married to you.
Hey, you're joking, right? Having a divorce on my record would ruin my reputation.
I don't care. Go build a wonderful family with that woman over there. Betty, the mistress, is thrilled. Yay, you're getting a divorce. So, mother-in-law, when can Mark and I move into this big house? Unfortunately, you'll never call me mother-in-law, and living here is out of the question. Why, you're not going to approve of our marriage? Marry if you wish. I have nothing to do with it anymore.
What? Mom, what are you saying?
Mark, I'm cutting ties with you. Live your life as you please. My words silenced the room. Everyone in the room looks shocked. A few seconds later, Betty breaks the silence with a scream. Ah! What? You've got to be kidding. What's so appealing about Mark if he's not your son, you rich old lady?
What did you just say?
I was with him because your parents are rich. Otherwise, why would I have a relationship with a married man? I even had a child thinking it would get me more money. It seems my son chose a terrible woman to have an affair with. Mark's face turns from pale blue to ghostly white. I thought you were a rich old lady coming back from overseas, and now this? This is a joke. I'll sue you for damages. You're quite bold, but actually you're the one who should be paying damages. You had a relationship with a married man after all. No. I didn't know he was married. Mark deceived me. Oh, didn't you just say you were with him because his parents are rich, even though he's married? I didn't say that. There's no proof. Goodness, I never thought my long stay overseas would come in handy like this. I pull out my mobile phone, which is set to record. Don't underestimate me because I'm old. I lived in a country where lawsuits are common. Recording conversations for evidence is pretty standard there. Now it's Betty's turn to go pale. She slumps down, defeated, and the next moment clings to my leg. Please pretend you didn't hear what I said earlier. Delete that recording. Why would I do that? Just pay what you owe. I can't. How much are these damages? I don't have that kind of money. Betty turns to Jennifer, pleading for forgiveness, but Jennifer quietly shakes her head. Afterwards, Jennifer divorces Mark and claims $30,000 in damages from both him and Betty. Mark also ends up paying $1,000 a month for both Emma's child support. Having been cut off by me, he loses his spirit, makes mistakes at work. Apparently, he was fired for causing great damage to the company and is now working hard at his day job. I heard Betty is somehow making ends meet working at a club. As for me, I decide to live overseas again. After discussing it with my husband, we decide to take my former daughter-in-law, Jennifer, and Emma with us. With cutting-edge treatment and perhaps the foreign air agreeing with her, Emma's health gradually improves, and she's now running around parks full of energy. I get to watch my beloved granddaughter grow up by my side, and I'm living happily ever after.